It starts slow. Just one store, then 10. Then entire zip codes read permanently closed like it's a default setting. No sirens, no headlines screaming collapse. Just a quiet reshaping that nobody voted for. One floor tile at a time. The places where parents used to wait in checkout lines now sit hollow. Stripped under fluorescent lights that still buzz like someone forgot to turn them off. These places were familiar. They offered toothpaste at 2 a.m., trick-or-treat costumes, a phone charger when the old one frayed. Tiny conveniences stitched into everyday life. Now, parking lots grow weeds through concrete cracks. Customer service kiosks blink error screens. And shelves sag under dust, not product. Because in America, retail is not collapsing. It's being rewritten. Every year, homes get smarter. But the decisions? They get harder. We have fridges that remind us what to eat, apps tracking every calorie. Yet when it comes to retail, we're watching legacies evaporate. And we don't even realize it's happening until the doors close. Retail isn't disappearing overnight. It's being redrawn, subtly, like lines in sand being shaped by wind. You see, businesses don't always die loudly. Some just dim. Until one day you walk by the corner store and realize it's already gone. Boarded up, like it was never there. You press your forehead to the glass. There's nothing left, not even a reflection. This is not about stores. This is about what happens to a country where even the basics vanish. America is changing. And the places we used to depend on are quietly walking away. Let's begin with 10 names. 10 retail giants you likely visited, trusted, or never thought would fall. But first, a father walks into a store to buy cold medicine for his daughter. She's coughing. 4 years old, cheeks flushed. By the time he parks, the store is shut. No notice, no sign. Just paper over the windows with tape peeling at the edges. His daughter tugs his coat. He tells her they'll try another place. She doesn't understand, but she will. Number 10, Big Lots. This wasn't just a bargain store. It was a rush of color in a store full of gray decisions. A $12 on the rug. A little bench that didn't match, but matched your mood. It didn't sell luxury. It sold relief. The kind of place where just $10 could bend toward comfort. A plastic drawer unit. A candle with a scent like last Christmas. A chair you didn't need, but suddenly felt you did. By 2025, it's mostly gone. 500 plus locations shuttered in less than a year. Entire cities watched them disappear like remnants of a fading promise. And for workers, it wasn't dignified. People showed up for the morning shift and found locks changed. One woman, 15 years on payroll, laid her badge on the curb. No warning, no goodbye. Big Lots didn't fail because people stopped needing cheap. It failed because even cheap food became unaffordable. Number 9, Dollar General. They said it would be recession-proof. When times got tough, the dollar store got tougher. They were wrong. 140 stores closed in early 2025. Why? You walk in now, half-filled shelves. One employee juggling register, restocking, janitorial, while earbuds blast warnings about theft. And the dollar part, long gone. Shampoo, $6. Cereal, $4. Dollar General has become a contradiction whispered in parking lots. For lower income families, this place was a clutch. Now, it's a crack in the system. And that's the truth no headline dares to write. When the stores were built for the poor, can no longer survive the poor. You're past the point of warning signs. You're in the fire already. Technology tracks foot traffic down to the aisle. AI predicts your shopping habits better than you do. Yet entire locations vanish before a community can blink. It's not just mismanagement. It's a systemic design. Reduce footprint, boost margins, automate logistics, leave physical retail behind. That sounds fine, until the only grocery store in a rural town, it goes dark. Shoppers don't fade. They circle further, drive 20 miles. Some just give up entirely. Number 8. 7-Eleven 24 hours meant something once. It meant safety if you worked the late shift, medicine when your baby ran a fever at 3 a.m., red slushies after hot football games. Now, 444 closures across North America. Many are already locked, fast, quiet, no warning. Steel gates slide down over flickering signs. Some stores cut hours. For the first time in 30+ years. What's gone with 7-Eleven isn't just convenience, it's the illusion of reliability. When even the 24/7 promise breaks, something else breaks too, and it's quieter than expected. A single mother, keys shaking in hand, searches for cold formula in the middle of the night. Empty lot, no lights, just silence. A baby's toy rolls under the checkout in a closing store. The mother laughs, tired, then realizes there's no one left to help her reach under. That's what's happening. Not just closures, but disappearing touch points of human connection. You don't notice it all at once, you just start to feel more alone. Number 7. Best Buy. It used to feel like the future lived here. Soundbars thumping demos, thick TVs so thin they cut shadows, endless laptops glowing under glass. It was where teenagers dreamt of building their first setup, where families browsed before birthdays. But those aisles, they're thinning. Their footprint, shrinking. Another 15 stores are poised to close just this year, because the future isn't there anymore. It's online. People browse in stores, then order elsewhere. And Best Buy isn't dying, just quietly rearranging its soul. Robotic centers, smaller formats, less connection. In some locations, it's just emptier. You hear your footsteps more, and that's the new sound of shopping. The collapse we're watching. It's not made of explosions. It's flickering lights. It's the hum of an empty freezer section. The sudden echo of a child laughing in a store that's half abandoned. You don't hear sirens in these moments, just goodbye, hidden in silence. Number 6. Subway. It wasn't fine dining. It didn't need to be. It was the sandwich shop that smelled like lunch break, where bread baked every 20 minutes, even if no one was there to eat it. Where you could get a foot-long for less than your Uber ride to work. But in 2025, that smell is fading. Over 600 stores closed in 1 year. More than 7,600 lost since its peak. What's collapsing isn't speed, it's substance. The Subway stopped feeling fresh, and it started feeling fatigued. The lettuce looks tired. The tomato slices, mechanical. And employees, once cheery behind glass counters, now dodge eye contact, burned out from shifts that stretched too long with too little help. Subway became a formula. But Americans stopped craving formulas. They wanted meals that felt made, not processed. And behind every flickering LED menu, there's a bigger question lurking. When the food is made for everyone, stops being touched by anyone, what was the point of the recipe? A factory worker used to go every Tuesday. He'd leave a tip, laugh with the team behind the counter. Last week he drove past. The storefront was gone. No warning. Just dust where the sandwich station used to be. He sat in his truck for 15 minutes. I didn't eat that day. Said it felt like a goodbye that didn't say anything. Number 5. Walgreens. There are places that shouldn't feel emotional. A pharmacy? That's just routine. Or so we thought. For decades, Walgreens sat quietly at the center of neighborhood life. It was aspirin at midnight. It was the place you ran to when your kid spiked a fever. It was photos of your first vacation, printed right there while you waited. But in 2025, we've reached a point where even medicine is becoming inconvenient. 1,200 stores are closing. And the most devastating part? Not the numbers. The types of towns they're fading from. Small ones. Forgotten ones. Places where the pharmacy wasn't a luxury. It was the last tether to healthcare that felt human. In some areas, it's now a 40-minute drive for insulin. In others, elders say they just skip it. Hope they feel better. By morning. What used to be a 10-minute errand now feels like navigating a system where no one's in charge. Just locked cases, thinning shelves, and buttons that blink "assistance needed" for 20 silent minutes. Security cameras don't blink, but no one shows up. Contrast, progress. We have medicine that can extend a life by 2 decades. But in rural Georgia, a grandmother has to pray her ride doesn't cancel on refill day. So what's more advanced? The pill itself? Or the dignity of being able to get it? Number 4. Macy's wasn't just retail, it was a holiday. Escalators that whispered through 6 floors of nostalgia. Red bows hung over makeup counters. Mirrors that showed you what growing up looked like. The prom dress, the wedding suit. A dad in his Sunday best, letting his kid tie a tie too slowly. They were places you stepped into when you wanted something to matter. But Macy's today feels like memory loss. In 2024, they announced a plan. 150 stores are gone by 2026. 66 of those vanish in 2025 alone. It didn't feel real at first. Macy's, the parade, the star, the shimmering escalators. But you walk in now, and instead of music, it's silence. Instead of celebration, it's clearance racks under fluorescent lighting that flickers more than it shines. Macy's didn't just suffer from competition. It suffered from erosion of meaning. People no longer shop to be part of something. They shop to get it over with. That shift in intention isn't just a personal choice. It's a cultural unraveling. And now those wide floors with mannequins and tuxedos? They're being rezoned into mixed-use buildings. Not stores, apartments, offices, storage facilities. It's not just the end of an era. It's the repurposing of an emotion. Real moment. A boy trying on his graduation suit with his father. The sleeves were too long. They both laughed. That Macy's closed the next month. The memory still fits. Number 3. Kroger routine used to have a smell. Warm bread, rotating rotisserie chickens, the slight chill of the frozen aisle. Kroger fed 60 million Americans a week. It was predictable, affordable, embedded so deeply into the country's rhythms, it practically beat like a supermarket heartbeat. But in 2025, even giants tremble. Kroger remains operational, but something has changed. You feel it in the way shelves are half-stocked mid-day, or how 4 checkout lines become 1. You watch employees work like ghosts, filling orders for online customers you never see. Behind closed doors, a collapsed merger, a failed $25 billion handshake with Albertsons, squashed by regulators, leaving stores in limbo. That deal wasn't just about profit, it was about protection. Protection from rising wages, from unstable freight costs, from a world where your grocery bill becomes a decision tree. Now, they're trimming the edges, silently. One suburban location disappears, then another in a city where elders live 3 blocks away. Too far to walk elsewhere, too close to feel bitter. Kroger didn't fail, but it went quiet. And that's almost worse. Sensory pause. Autumn. A woman in her 70s walks the fruit aisle. She picks up a peach, smells it. It doesn't feel ripe. The fruit is firm. The nostalgia is softer. She puts it back. Move on. Number 2, fast food chains, multiple. What would America be without a drive-thru? Fast food once fed everyone from high schoolers to graveyard shift taxi drivers. It was the comfort music of cuisine. Cheap, reliable, predictable in the best way. But nothing is predictable in 2025. McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King. Hundreds of locations are closing, one fry basket at a time. Why? Because America said value and got volume. We were promised meals under $5. Now we're asked to pay twice that for half the feeling. 40% price increases since 2019. You pick up the paper bag now, and it feels heavier on your wallet than in your hands. A father used to take both kids every Friday. Now he says, "We'll go next month." The kids don't complain. They just stop asking. Franchise owners say costs exploded. Electricity, unmanageable. Insurance, unpredictable. Wages, necessary but sharp. And the response from the corporate? $5 meal deals. Band-aids for bullet wounds. Fast food is turning into a luxury that still pretends it's fast. Or food. And while chains push guiltless menus and ghost kitchens, they forget that sometimes people just want the experience to feel human. A smile, a warm bag, not a QR code, and a number shouted like it's prison yard lunch. Contrast, yesterday versus now yesterday. Milkshake dates after prom. Today, app error, cold fries, and a charge for extra sauce. Reflection light, the child's view. A child spills ketchup on his sweatshirt. Fries fall between the seat cushions. The father shrugs, smiles. That's what it was. Small chaos wrapped in comfort. Now, the seat's cleaner. Because they don't go anymore. Closing line for section 2. We didn't just lose stores. We lost rituals. We lost the idea that every day could feel personal. That quick didn't mean careless. That cheap wasn't supposed to hurt. As we count down the final name in this disappearing lineup, understand this. What's being erased isn't just a convenience. Sometimes it's the last thread holding an entire block together. Next comes the hardest name, the one we thought would never make the list. Number 1, Walmart. This one hurts in a different way. Because Walmart wasn't just a store, it was a ritual. The ketchup aisle, the school supply bin in August, that faint smell of rubber from the tire center, all of it wrapped in the glow of white aisles and rollback signs. You didn't go to Walmart, you ended up there. For groceries, for pet food, for a birthday card 5 minutes before the party. In most towns across America, Walmart wasn't part of the routine. It was the routine. But in 2025, even the Titan is tightening. You wouldn't know it at first glance. They still pull in $600 billion a year. Still carry 120,000 SKUs beneath one roof. But something's changing. Whispers between employees. Auto departments closing. Front entrances sealed off overnight. Entire stores gone. Not because they weren't used, but because they were targeted. Organized retail theft. The phrase sounds sanitized, but it's real. It's not petty shoplifting. It's networks. Operations designed to bleed the system in silence. And silence, ironically, is what Walmart needs least. They admitted it. The losses are now unsustainable. Billion-dollar leaks behind billion-dollar walls. And in low-profit markets, those quiet losses become last straws. In cities like Portland, Chicago, Atlanta, entire locations shut down with barely a whisper. Communities woke up to locked doors, letters taped to glass, empty rows where job postings used to be. One mother in Milwaukee cried in the parking lot. No groceries, no car, but still had 3 mouths to feed. She used to walk 3 blocks to shop. Now it's 3 bus rides. And still she goes. That's what Walmart meant. It wasn't just a place to buy soap. It was life support, disguised in cheap aisles and endless options. Economic pressures. And then we add this. Wages go up. Utilities, higher every month. Insurance claims, through the roof. Add in automation rollouts that bring profits, but remove jobs. And Walmart? Quietly stepping backward. Maybe not everywhere, but in places where math no longer adds up to loyalty. Where loss is measured in receipts and community didn't reach the spreadsheet. And here's what's unbearable. When Walmart leaves a town, everything around it wilts. Job applications dry up. Parking lots grow silent. Taco huts built beside it go belly up. The Kroger down the block pulls hours. Because when the sun sets on a Walmart, the whole block goes cold. A goodbye with no applause. An assistant manager clocks out for the last time. She looks back, lights off, shelves empty. She says, "I met my husband in these aisles. We got engaged in the break room." Then she locks the door. One last click. It echoes. No one claps. Everyone feels it. Reflections beyond the list. So what do we do with this countdown? What happens after we realize it wasn't just 10 retailers on a list, but 10 arteries of American life slowly closing valves? Because every closure, every flickering sign, every empty shelf, every "we're relocating" sticker slapped across old glass, it all adds up to something invisible, but heavy. Trust. That's what we're losing. The trust that when we wake up, most of life will function. That our dollars still belong somewhere. That even if everything else felt uncertain, at least the pharmacy still had what we needed. At least we could still surprise our daughter with cookies from the corner store. At least fast food would carry us through burnout. At least was enough. But what happens when even at least is taken away? Contrast. Framing the illusion of plenty. We see more products than ever before. More brands, more ads, more customization, cadmium red buttons, free delivery, and next day promises. But somehow, less feels reachable. The grocery bill hurts. The pharmacy trip feels complicated. And store by store, we stop going. Not because we want to, but because there's less reason to. And over time, we convince ourselves we don't miss it. We forget what it felt like to ask a store clerk where the light bulbs were, and they knew the aisle. The way Christmas lights reflected off tile floors in December. The accidental encounter with an old friend near the soup aisle. You don't get that in a tracking number. You don't feel that in a chatbot. Back to the home cut to a quiet kitchen. A mother slices fruit while her baby giggles on the floor. She smiles, opens a cabinet, and pauses. No sandwich bags. She looks out the window where a Walgreens used to be. It's gone. She sighs. Add it to the list, the one scribbled in Sharpie by the fridge. Tomorrow will be harder. Hope in transition. But not all is lost. In the vacuum left behind by giants, something else is trying to grow. A return to small, to deliberate. Local bakeries in empty strip malls. Neighborhood grocers opening 2 aisles at a time. Immigrant-owned pharmacies that know your name and your needs. There is no single answer for what is being lost. But there are people trying. Boarded stores become art hubs. Corners become co-ops. What was erased may someday be reimagined. But it won't be easy. It won't be fast. And it won't be cheap. Because nothing ever replaces scale. And nothing matches the sound of a store you grew up in going dark. The quiet earthquake. This is the retail apocalypse. Not loud, not violent, but steady, intentional. Unfolding silently in your zip code, your memories, your routines. And the question is not, what's next. It's who's watching. Because when institutions collapse slowly, people stop noticing. And when families don't notice, they stop resisting. And when resistance dies, convenience wins. But there's still a choice. Cinematic outro, a challenge and a pause. We don't live in a world with too few choices. We live in one with too many illusions. Flickering screens, empty parking stalls, signs that say, "We value you," just before saying goodbye. And if this felt personal, it's because it is. The places closing today were built for you, designed to hold your time, your trust, your just need this one thing errands. And now, they're holding space for something else. Automation, efficiency, silence. But you still get to ask questions. You still get to decide where your dollars go. To the loudest brand, or the quietest truth. Ask better, shop smarter, and never forget. They want one that's smart enough to work. Before you go, hit that subscribe button, because we don't just review, we expose. From the hype to the hidden failures, to the tricks brands hope you'll never question. So, hit like, tap subscribe, and join thousands of smart shoppers who already know. Smart spending starts with asking smarter questions.